Hail to you listeners, welcome back to the Havamal In Depth. I'm Kristian, the Stoic Lokean. Before we begin today, I want to offer my apologies for the extended break. It's been close to 12 months since the last episode, since episode 22. I took a bit of time out, reassessed my priorities, make sure I was heading in the right direction, and basically wanted to make sure that the Stoic Lokean podcast was heading in the direction that the listeners wanted it to. I've had quite a lot of feedback over the recent months. I've had quite a few of you, really gratefully, and I really do appreciate it, that some of you have taken the time out to reach out to me and ask if the podcast is coming back, and if so, when. So this is it. Thank you. Today then, we are diving into a stanza that cuts to the core of how we perceive wisdom and treat those who enter our lives. Stanza 30 of the Havamal. Before we get there though, I want you to think for a moment. Have you ever felt judged or dismissed as a stranger? Or conversely, have you ever caught yourself making snap judgments about someone you don't know? I think we all do it. I think we're all guilty of it from time to time, and that's perfectly natural. Let's not dispute that. So it's not necessarily about not making those judgments. It's about the consequences of those judgments that we all make. Keep those thoughts in mind then as we explore this powerful verse. Stanza 30. For a gazing stock, no man shall have another, although he comes a stranger to his house. Many a one thinks himself wise if he is not questioned and can sit in a dry habit. A simple statement, I'm sure you'll agree, yet packed with layers of meaning. Let's begin, therefore, with the Old Norse interpretation. Imagine a longhouse, a fire crackling, and a weary traveller arriving at the door. Go the guester, the good guest, was a sacred concept to our ancestors. Hospitality was not just a courtesy, it was a fundamental social obligation. To treat a guest as a gazing stock, to mock or ridicule them, was a grave violation of trust. Guest rights, or, and forgive my pronunciation for this, Gjaldþrot, dictated that hosts provided shelter and protection, and guests showed gratitude and respect. This wasn't merely polite, it was the glue that held Norse society together. But stanza 30 goes deeper than just manners. It challenges the illusion of wisdom. Many a one thinks himself wise if he is not questioned. True wisdom, in Norse terms, wasn't about outward displays or unchallenged opinions. It was earned through experience, self-reflection, and a willingness to learn. Those who presumed wisdom without scrutiny were viewed with suspicion. This is a crucial point, and something we see reflected in the sagas. Looking at the sagas, and in particular the sagas of Ragnar Lothbrok, we see living examples of the Havamal's wisdom. When Ragnar seeks shelter with Jarl Hrolf, for example, he approaches with humility, offering gifts and respect. This adheres to the sacred code of hospitality. But the sagas also show the consequences of violating this code. King Eilar's refusal to grant Ivar the Boneless refuge leads to a bloody conflict, a stark reminder of the god's displeasure when hospitality is denied. These stories aren't just entertainment, as entertaining as they are, they're more moral lessons etched in blood and steel. Next, we turn to Stoicism. In Stoicism, we find a powerful echo of these principles. The Stoics understood that true wisdom begins with controlling what we can, our perceptions and our actions, and also accepting what we cannot. For a gazing stock no man shall have another aligns perfectly with the Stoic emphasis on empathy and dignity. Ryan Holiday, in the Daily Stoic, one of my very favourite modern day Stoics, if you haven't checked him out, please do, reminds us, what you don't understand, don't ridicule. What you don't have, don't dismiss. What you don't control, don't worry about. This isn't just about being nice. It's about cultivating inner peace and virtue. The Stoics, like the Norse, understood that true wisdom requires humility and self-awareness. We must examine our own biases, recognizing that sitting in a dry habit, unquestioned and unchallenged, is a recipe for delusion. Now, looking in today's modern world, we live in an age of instant opinions and online judgments. Social media can amplify the very tendencies that Stanza 30 warns against. But the core message remains. Treat others with respect, especially those who enter your metaphorical home, whether that's your physical space or your online community. Remember, hospitality isn't just about offering food and shelter. It's about creating an environment of acceptance and understanding. In a world that often feels divided, probably more so today than we've felt for quite some time, these principles are more relevant than ever. So what have we learned? Well, Stanza 30 isn't just a historical artefact, it's a timeless guide to living a virtuous life. The Norse valued hospitality and genuine wisdom. The Stoics emphasised empathy and self-awareness. And we, in the modern world, must strive to embody these principles in our daily interactions. Let's read it one more time then, with a new understanding. Stanza 30. For a gazing stock no man shall have another, although he comes a stranger to his house. Many a one thinks himself wise if he is not questioned and can sit in a dry habit. Thank you for joining me on this journey. If you found this episode insightful, please consider liking, subscribing and sharing. Your support helps this wisdom reach others. Your support also, by liking, subscribing and sharing, increases my ranking on the platforms to which you are listening to this today. Until next time, hail to you, and may the Havamal guide your path.